What a game one for James Harden and the Philadelphia 76ers as they go on the road in Boston, TD Garden, without Joel Embiid, and they steal game one. And this, a huge performance for the 76ers for a couple of reasons. It buys Joel Embiid a couple more days to rest that knee, but also now, like the Miami Heat might do with Jimmy Butler's ankle injury, because they have a 1-0 lead and you stole home court in this series, you can afford to sit Joel Embiid in game two and then potentially bring him back depending on what happens in that game on Friday for game three at the Wells Fargo Center, where Sixers fans are going to be really excited to see this team return back to the city of brotherly love considering what they did. And as I mentioned off the top of our post-game show here, all led by James Harden. And really, Coop, the big debate, is that a legacy game from James Harden? I understand it's game one of an Eastern Conference Finals, or Eastern Conference semifinal series, I should say, but consider the circumstances, right? No Joel Embiid. James Harden has had a lot of playoff shortcomings. Yep. He's had a lot of opportunities where he's had the rock in his hands with the chance to give his team the victory. He hits that step back game winner to give the Sixers the advantage, and he scores 45 points 6 times on 30 shots. Those 45 points tying a career high, and 7 of 14 from downtown.
I think this is the best performance of James Harden's career. I mean, with what was on the line, no Joel Embiid, you're on the road in Boston. James Harden was in Vegas a couple days ago. I think that makes it even more impressive. I mean, he put the team on his back tonight, and he's the reason the Sixers are up 1-0. And it's extremely valuable because the Sixers win game one. They can now afford to rest Joel Embiid in game two, buying him some valuable time. Maybe he gets a little more healthy going back to the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia.
And it was an awesome game for the Sixers because they really did display a lot of toughness here. And there were a couple of moments in this game where it could have gotten ugly, where you were sensing that the Celtics were smelling blood in the water, momentum was on their side, the crowd was starting to feel it, but then it was Tyrese Maxey with the big bucket, or it was DeAnthony Melton going perfect from distance in that first half, 5 of 5 from 3. I thought Tobias Harris had a pretty good game. I thought that at points in this matchup, honestly, Doc Rivers outcoached Joe Mazzulla, where he had to take a couple of really timely timeouts to settle things down to a certain degree. And that's a credit to the Sixers here. They could have panicked, they could have cratered, and they did not. And they were able to really stay cool, calm, and collected in this game in a very hostile environment. Tough 36 hours for Celtics and Boston fans in general.
They're in shambles.
Yeah, the Bruins, who set a record for the most points scored in NHL history, most wins in the regular season in NHL history, right, with 65.
Yeah, 65 wins.
They lose Game 7 after squandering a 3-1 lead to the Florida Panthers. And then in that same arena, it's the Celtics losing this Game 1 to the Sixers. So show some love to James Harden by typing his jersey number down below in the comment section. What a performance from the Beard. And there's, of course, a lot that we have to get to with this game. But first, make sure you subscribe to us here on 76ers Now. We did our first watch party here on the channel. It was a great success, and we're going to be back for Game 3 right here. And as the offseason is approaching, hopefully not for a long time for the Sixers, let's hope they can make it past the second round for the first time since 2001. There's going to be an uptick in our content. Hit that subscribe button down below. We're closing in on 10,000 subscribers. More subscribers equals more videos. It's youtube.com/76erstv. Before we continue to break this Game 1 steal of a victory down for Philadelphia, today's show is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Double your first deposit. Get a 100% deposit match with Underdog Fantasy today. Experience the thrill of fantasy sports like never before with Underdog Fantasy, the industry's easiest and fastest growing app. Put your basketball knowledge to the test. Philly guys, Philly girls, I know you want to put that basketball knowledge to the test with their pick'em game by forecasting whether your chosen players will have higher or lower stat totals this week. And you might just win up to 20 times your money. Register today by using the promo code Chat Sports at chatsports.com/underdog and double your first deposit up to $100. We'll put that link in the comment section and in the description of this video. So, Coop, you look at the team-by-team statistics here. Throughout much of that first half, the Celtics were shooting more than 70%.
Yeah, I think at halftime they were shooting 73% because the Sixers had no rim protection whatsoever. And Paul Reed just couldn't protect the rim at all. They were getting easy buckets. It seems like they were slipping in from the wings in behind the Celtics defense, and they were getting alley-oops, and they were really getting whatever they wanted in the paint. But Doc Rivers made some adjustment at halftime, and it seems like they shored that up a bit.
And Jason Tatum had, what, 30 points in that first half?
Tatum had 26 in the first half.
26 points in the first half. He finished with 39 points. So I thought the Sixers made some really good defensive adjustments, and we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about that possession in the final seconds that led to the Tyrese Maxey dunk when the Sixers played some lockdown defense. Good switching, good overall defensive, I guess. They just stayed in their lanes to a certain degree.
It was a great team defense possession.
Good discipline, I guess, is the word that I was looking for. And then Maxey had that interception off the pass from Malcolm Brogdon. He was able to go the other way, and that was a huge bucket for the Sixers at that time. Now, the Celtics come back. I believe the following possession, Tatum hit a couple of free throws, which gave the Celtics a 1-point lead before that James Harden triple. But it was that defensive possession which really set a tone in that game. And for Maxey, the field goal numbers weren't great. 10 of 24, he shot below 42% from the field, 2 of 9 from 3, started this game slow. But I thought he exercised some demons here, which is really good for his confidence moving forward. Because against the Celtics in his career, he has always struggled. He's averaged about 10 points per game, and he shot below 35% from the field and from three-point range in his career against Boston. And to get 26 points, I think is big for Maxey's confidence moving forward. You showed the stats from Paul Reed, too. How about what B-Ball Paul did with some of the switching defensively, altering shots at the rim, being very active? He didn't play sloppy, which sometimes he can because the game can move a little bit too fast for him. No turnovers for Paul Reed. By the way, for Maxey, had 5 fouls for the last several minutes of that game. So good job by him for the defensive discipline and offensive discipline to not foul out of that game. But for Paul Reed, 2 trips to the line, 1 to seal the game, and 2 other big free throws. And he knocked down all 4 free throws, which was massive for him.
It looked comfortable doing so. I mean, it didn't look like they were pressure of free throws at all. You see guys in those situations where they walk up to the line, they're a little antsy, they're shaking a little bit, they're wiping their hands off. There was none of that from Paul Reed. He walked up there confident. I believe he was about 74% on the year, and he knocked them down with ease.
Yeah, so great the Sixers' performance tonight. A, B, C, D, or F. Collectively, it has to be an A grade from me just because of everybody who stepped up. And all of this came at different moments, right? Harris started off slow. He finished 8 of 16 for 18 points. Paul Reed had those 10 to go along with 13 rebounds for him. Tyrese Maxey with 26. James Harden with 45. DeAnthony Melton had 17 points. 15 of those came in the first half when the Sixers were desperately looking for a bucket in that first half. He was able to come through. 5 of 6 from downtown. Let's start to take some of your questions here. Lion Fighter setting the tone with a couple of super chats during our watch party. As we're watching right now, Rangers and Devils. A couple of big hits in that game in Game 7. But Lion Fighter, do you think Harden is playing for a chip, a contract, or both? Well, both, right?
Both, absolutely.
We know that James Harden wants to get paid. We know that James Harden, the one thing missing from his mantle, he's accomplished everything that any superstar wants to accomplish, right? MVP has it, probably should have 2. Scoring title, multiple All-Star appearances.
He has, I mean,
everything.
And I'm, as someone who hasn't been a big fan of James Harden throughout his career, I am so impressed with how he's revamped his game over the past couple of years. And you will see his name in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. Now, can he add a championship to his mantle? That remains to be seen. But when he does this,
45 points in the game winner. 30 shot attempts. This comes after yesterday, in which Steph Curry had 38 shot attempts and dropped 50 points. So look, we're talking about this throughout the show as you look at DeAnthony Melton's numbers here. I kind of alluded to him. It's a shame that the NBA regular season has become what it's become, with load management, guys sitting out, not taking it seriously, because these playoffs, they've been highlighted by a couple of insane performances. The Jimmy Butler Game 5, Game 6 back-to-back performance was legendary. Early on, we saw Kawhi Leonard, who talk about brittleness. You have that. Kevin Durant has had a couple of big games. Devin Booker put the team on his back in that closeout game against the Clippers. Steph Curry, Game 7, 50 points. And then it's James Harden with the 45-piece on 30 shot attempts and the game winner to lift the Sixers to a 119-115 victory. Another reminder before we wrap up here, please make sure you subscribe to us here on 76ers Now. All of our content is 100% free. And like I said, we're going to continue to do some watch parties for this series. YouTube.com/76erstv. Lock us in and hit that subscribe button. Tyrese Maxey continues to grow up before our eyes. In that first round series against Brooklyn, he was awesome. In Game 2 and 3, he really put the team on his back. In Game 5, it was an effort up and down the roster for that Sixers team. And like I said, he started off a little bit slow here. But these are the leaders. These are the guys without Joel Embiid, Coop, who needed to have a big game. And they all did in different instances.
Exactly. That's what we talked about pregame, is that they needed these three guys specifically to come in there and elevate their game, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the chat here. Benny can't believe this victory. Walter Miller giving the Sixers an A+. Thoey, that's a clear A. And then Lion Fighter, B-Ball Paul. All right, that's going to do it for our post-game show here on 76ers Now. Now we look ahead to Game 2. We'll be back on Wednesday for it. I highly, highly doubt Joel Embiid plays. Why would you play him? At the
no
very
chance
worst,
you should play him.
You're going back to Philadelphia with this series locked up at 1-1. PHI for the Sixers, BOS for the Boston Celtics. All right, last call here. We'll give you 2 minutes to send in any super chats. If we don't get any super chats, we're going to sign off here. Pretty successful first live show here on the show. And a great watch party at that, filled with a lot of theatrics. 2 minutes to send in any super chats if you want to donate to the show. Walter Miller, we could pop that up there, Coop. Get Walter Miller on the show. He's been keeping that comment section popping. Walter Miller, Chase, how comfortable do you think the Sixers' plan to win a game in Boston will be enough for us to finally get past the second round? Look.
This is where it starts.
This is where it starts right here.
You have to get a split. When you're the road team, have to get a split in the first 2 games to take back home court advantage. And that's what the Sixers did without the MVP of the NBA.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Walter Miller's been a real one all night,
Walter Miller's been our commenter MVP today. He's telling people to hit that thumbs up icon to like the video. Walter, we better see you back here on Wednesday night. We're 1 minute into our 2-minute super chat shot clock. Any super chats will come in inside this minute. We'll answer them. Marquise Diamond, who won? Coop, we can show him the scoreboard here.
We absolutely can show him the scoreboard.
James Harden, Marquise, 45 points, game-winning 3 in the final seconds to give the Sixers a 119-115 win. 17 of 30 from the floor, 7 of 14 from three-point range.
Unbelievable.
What a performance. I need some water after that. I have a little bit of a headache.
You were in your bag.
Whew.
I would be shocked if I saw Joel Embiid's name off the injury report or even listed as anything more than doubtful.
You know what? He has played numerous games in which he's been doubtful in the playoffs.
There's just no reason to play him.
Just no reason to play him. It would be malpractice, honestly. Walter Miller, he's going to be back.
Attaboy, Walter.
On Wednesday. All right, we'll see you then. Hey, that does it for our first ever live stream here on the show.
Y'all were awesome.
Coop crushed. Y'all crushed. Hopefully I did my part as well. We'll catch you next time here. Wednesday, 76ers Now. We out. Peace.